Ever stared at the stars and thought, man, how does any of this even make sense? From deja vu that hits out of nowhere to animals sensing earthquakes before they happen, there are some things that make even the smartest scientists scratch their heads. Tonight, we're diving deep into the weird, the wild, and the straight-up unexplainable. These aren't just mysteries. They're reminders that no matter how advanced we get, the universe still keeps a few secrets up its sleeve. So get comfy, dim the lights, and let's wander through 100 things science still can't explain. Welcome to Sleepy Science. You ever notice how the closer we get to understanding everything, the more questions pop up out of nowhere? It's like science gives us a flashlight in a dark room, but every time the light gets brighter, the room just gets bigger. Think about it, for every mystery solved, a dozen new ones sneak up behind it. And that's what makes the world so fascinating. Not everything can be measured, tested, or charted on some fancy graph. Some things just don't fit the formula, no matter how many PhDs try to make sense of them. Let's start with one of the strangest puzzles of all, the placebo effect. Imagine this. Someone's sick. They take a sugar pill, totally convinced it's real medicine, and somehow they get better. Their brain literally tricks their body into healing. Scientists have studied it for decades, running tests, using control groups, changing variables, but they still can't fully explain how belief alone triggers real biological change. It's like your brain has this secret doctor mode. It can switch on whenever it believes hard enough. And speaking of the mind, how about consciousness itself? That little voice in your head, the one that's reading this sentence right now, where does it actually come from? Some researchers say it's just brain activity, neurons firing in complex patterns. Others think consciousness might exist beyond physical matter, that it's more like a field that the brain tunes into, kinda like a radio. Wild, right? You can map every neuron, study every chemical in the brain, but you still can't point to a single spot and say, here, this is where awareness lives. It's one of those things that makes scientists go, yeah, we know how the brain works, but not really why it feels like you in there. Now, let's talk about deja vu, that eerie flash when a totally new moment feels weirdly familiar. You walk into a place you've never been and your brain whispers, wait, haven't we done this before? Psychologists have thrown around theories, memory glitches, brain delays, temporal loops, but none of them fully click. Some say it's your brain cross-wiring short-term and long-term memory. Others say it's something deeper, like a glitch in the simulation we call reality. Either way, that fleeting, spine-tingling moment still can't be fully nailed down by science. Then there's the Mandela effect, entire groups of people remembering the same thing, completely wrong. You've heard it. People swearing the Monopoly man had a monocle, he didn't, or that the Berenstain Bears were spelled Berenstein. Some even remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison years before he actually did. Memory experts say it's just collective misremembering, but man, it's hard not to wonder, are these small cracks in our reality? Could there be overlapping timelines, alternate dimensions brushing against each other? Nobody knows for sure, but it's the kind of mystery that makes you glance around and go, what if I'm the one remembering wrong? And if human memory is a puzzle, animal instincts are another level entirely. How do sea turtles, hatched on a beach they've never seen before, find their way back to the same exact spot decades later to lay their eggs. How do migratory birds fly thousands of miles with perfect precision? No GPS, no maps, just pure instinct. Scientists talk about magnetic fields and internal compasses, but those are just educated guesses. The deeper truth is, we still don't really know how they do it. There's something primal, almost mystical, guiding them. Something ancient that science hasn't cracked yet. Then there's intuition, that gut feeling that whispers, "Don't go there," or "Call that person," and somehow it's right. Is it your subconscious picking up patterns faster than you can think? Or something beyond logic, like an unseen energy connecting us all? People laugh at intuition because it's not measurable, but the truth is, it saved lives, predicted danger, and guided decisions when logic fell flat. Science can't test it, can't replicate it, and can't deny that it's real. And maybe that's what makes these mysteries so powerful. They remind us that the universe doesn't owe us explanations. We live in a world where we can split atoms, travel through space, and decode the human genome. But we still can't explain why a mother feels her child is in danger from miles away, or why identical twins sense each other's emotions without a word. There's something raw and beautiful about that, like life is still holding onto a few secrets just to keep us humble. Ever wondered why cats purr? It's cute, sure, but science still doesn't fully get it. Yeah, they purr when they're happy, but also when they're in pain, scared, or even dying. Some say it's self-healing, that the vibration frequency helps them recover. Others think it's just emotional communication. But no one's nailed the full picture. It's like this small, fuzzy enigma vibrating on your lap, nature's riddle in fur. And then we have dark matter, the cosmic ghost that makes up 85% of the universe. Yet we can't see it, touch it, or measure it directly. We only know it's there because galaxies spin faster than they should. It's like the universe is wrapped in an invisible fabric holding everything together. Every theory tries to describe it, but nobody's actually seen it. Imagine living in a world where most of existence is literally invisible. That's reality. Here's the thing, science isn't failing us. It's just reminding us that curiosity is endless. Every unsolved mystery is an open door, a whisper saying, "Keep looking." Maybe we'll never find all the answers. Maybe we're not supposed to. Because sometimes the unknown isn't meant to be solved, it's meant to be felt. Ever felt like the universe is playing hide and seek with us? Every time we think we've figured out how things work, it throws in something completely off the wall, like it's teasing us. And man, nothing does that better than time itself. We live by it, measure it, stress over it, but no one can truly explain what time is. Einstein said it's relative, bending with gravity and speed, but when you really think about it, what even is a second? Why does it flow forward and never backward? Physics can predict how it behaves, but not why it exists at all. It's like time is the rule book we all follow, yet no one's ever actually read the rules. And then there's dreaming, the ultimate trip we all take every night. Some dreams feel random, like your brain's doing spring cleaning. Others feel so real, you wake up with your heart pounding, wondering if it actually happened. Neuroscientists can trace the REM cycles, the brain waves, all that jazz. but they still can't explain why we dream or what dreams really mean. Why do we sometimes dream of things before they happen? Why do faces appear that we've never seen before? It's like our minds are connecting to something beyond logic, another layer of reality, whispering through sleep. And speaking of sleep, let's talk about why we even need it. I mean, think about it. You spend 1/3 of your entire life basically unconscious, vulnerable, doing nothing. From an evolutionary point of view, that's wild. You'd think nature would have phased that out. But nope, every creature from humans to fruit flies has to sleep. Scientists know it helps with memory, healing, and brain cleanup. But why can't we evolve past it? Why does every living thing need to shut down for hours at a time just to function? It's like life itself is wired to dream. Let's take it out into the cosmos for a second. The universe, our biggest unsolved mystery of all. Astronomers can map galaxies billions of light years away, but they still don't know what came before the Big Bang. Like, what sparked it? What existed before existence? We've got theories, quantum fluctuations, multiverse bubbles, cosmic strings, but no answers. The origin of everything remains behind a cosmic curtain that no telescope can peek through. It's humbling and kinda scary, too. And if the beginning of everything is mysterious, so is the end. The universe is expanding faster than ever and no one knows why. Dark energy, they call it, a force that's literally pushing galaxies apart. But what is dark energy? Nobody knows. It's invisible, immeasurable, unstoppable. One day it might stretch the universe so thin that even atoms can't hold together. Scientists call it the Big Rip. Sounds like a rock band, but it's real. And yeah, nobody has a clue why it's happening. But let's bring it back down to Earth, literally. Take gravity. We all know what it does, but not how it really works. Einstein described it as curves in space-time. Newton said it's a force, but neither could say what actually causes it. It's this invisible hand that keeps planets in orbit and your feet on the ground, yet it's the weakest of all forces. Drop a magnet and it beats gravity instantly. So what gives? We can feel it, measure it, but we can't explain its core nature. It's like the universe's biggest inside joke. Now here's a wild one. Why do humans even laugh? Like seriously, what's so evolutionary about giggling at a dumb joke? Laughter doesn't help us hunt or survive, yet it's one of the most universal human things. Even babies do it. Scientists say it releases feel-good chemicals and strengthens social bonds. But why do we need it so deeply? Why does it sometimes happen when we're nervous or even scared? No lab test can explain why something funny can make your body physically shake with joy. It's just human magic. Speaking of feelings, love might be the most mysterious force of all. Sure, scientists talk about hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, all that chemistry stuff. But if love were just chemicals, it wouldn't break hearts or make people cross oceans. It wouldn't explain how someone can miss another person so badly it hurts physically, or how love can last decades, even when beauty fades and memory slips. There's no formula for that. It's something deeper, something that makes us human in ways science can't measure. And on the flip side, death. No one really knows what happens after. Your body stops, sure, but what about you? The part that thinks, feels, remembers. Some say it's just lights out. Others believe in energy continuing on a soul, a frequency that never dies. Thousands of people have had near-death experiences, seeing light floating above their bodies, meeting lost loved ones. Doctors explain it as brain chemistry, oxygen loss, hallucinations. But how do you explain people describing details they couldn't possibly have seen while unconscious? It's eerie. Maybe death isn't the end. Maybe it's just another doorway. And while we're on doorways, what's up with black holes? They bend time, swallow light, and defy every law we know. You cross the event horizon and bam, no coming back. The laws of physics literally break down inside. Some scientists think black holes might connect to other universes, or that they're storing all the information they consume in ways we can't yet detect. The fact that they even exist at all is straight-up mind-bending. Like the universe built a cosmic trash can but forgot to label what happens to the trash. Here's something closer to home: the human body. You've got about 37 trillion cells doing their thing every second, and somehow it all just works. But no one can explain why your heart knows when to beat faster when you're nervous, or why your immune system remembers a virus it met years ago. It's like your body is running a code that no human wrote. Even DNA, the so-called blueprint of life, has parts scientists still call junk DNA because they have no idea what it does. Maybe it's not junk at all. Maybe it's the universe's hidden notes, waiting to be read. And here's one that really gets under people's skin: ghosts. Yeah, I know, science rolls its eyes at that stuff, but millions of people claim to have seen or felt something that defies logic. Cold spots, shadows, voices caught on recorders, even pets reacting to empty spaces. Maybe it's energy we don't understand yet. Maybe it's echoes from another dimension, overlapping with ours. Whatever it is, it's one more mystery science hasn't cracked. And maybe that's the beauty of it all. Because if we could explain everything, would the world still feel this magical? Maybe the unknown isn't here to frustrate us. It's here to keep us curious, to remind us we're small, but lucky enough to witness something infinitely bigger than ourselves. There's something kinda wild about how the universe hides its biggest secrets in plain sight. You walk outside, look around, and it's all just there. But behind the colors, sounds, and smells, there are mysteries baked into everything. Like why colors even exist. Sure, science says color is just light wavelengths bouncing off stuff, but that doesn't explain why we see them the way we do. Why is the sky blue, not purple? Why does red feel warm and blue feel calm? And why can some people see colors in sounds, a phenomenon called synesthesia? It's like the brain paints its own version of reality, one brushstroke at a time. And if color's strange, sound isn't any less mysterious. Think about music, just air vibrations hitting your ears. Yet somehow it can make you cry, dance, or remember your childhood in seconds. Science can measure frequency and pitch, but it can't explain why a few notes arranged just right can make your heart feel heavy or your soul feel alive. There's something deeply human about that, something machines will probably never fully get. Ever think about why we age? Like, seriously, if our bodies can repair themselves, why do they eventually stop doing it? Cells divide perfectly when we're young, but over time they start making tiny mistakes. Some scientists say it's because of DNA shortening, others blame environmental damage. But no one can answer the ultimate why. Why not just keep going? Why does nature build life to fade? It's one of those questions that feels less like biology and more like philosophy, a design choice that even science can't debug. Then there's the ocean, the most alien world on our planet. We've mapped the surface of Mars better than we've mapped the bottom of our own seas. Down there, light disappears, pressure crushes everything, and yet life thrives. Glowing creatures, transparent predators, species that look like they crawled out of a dream. We've explored maybe 5% of it. The rest is darkness, untouched, unknown. There could be creatures beyond imagination swimming just miles below us right now. It's crazy to think that we're living on a planet that's still mostly a mystery. And speaking of things that vanish into thin air, how about the mystery of the missing socks? You laugh, but scientists have actually studied it. Washers and dryers don't literally eat socks, but they do somehow cause them to disappear. Static cling, folds, gravity, whatever you call it, the math doesn't add up. Somewhere out there, there's a sock dimension with half the world's missing laundry. Okay, maybe not, but still, it's a funny reminder that even simple things in life can go unexplained. You ever heard of ball lightning? It's this glowing orb of light that floats during thunderstorms, sometimes slipping through windows or vanishing into thin air. Pilots, farmers, soldiers, people all over have seen it, but nobody's captured it properly. Science has theories. Plasma, gas, magnetic bubbles, but nothing solid. It's one of nature's freak shows, rare, dangerous, and absolutely stunning. If you ever saw one, you'd probably think it was a ghost or alien until it blinked out. Then there's gravity's twin mystery, magnetism. We know magnets attract and repel, sure. But why do moving electrons create invisible fields that reach across space? And why do those fields sometimes act like they have a mind of their own? Magnets work on rules we can measure but not truly understand. Even Earth's magnetic field flips every few 100,000 years, and no one knows why. The compasses we trust might one day point south instead of north. Imagine the confusion that'll cause. Let's get a little weirder. Animals that sense things we can't. Sharks detect electric fields, bees see ultraviolet light, and birds navigate using magnetic forces. Cats stare at corners like they're seeing something invisible. Dogs bark at nothing, then the ground shakes seconds later. Coincidence? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe they're tuned into frequencies we've forgotten how to hear. If humans ever had that sense, evolution might have buried it under all our noise. And if animals amaze you, plants might blow your mind even more. Scientists found that trees communicate, yeah, seriously, through underground fungal networks nicknamed the Wood Wide Web. They send nutrients, warn each other of danger, even recognize their own offspring. Some studies suggest plants react to sound, light, and even emotion. So when you talk to your houseplant, maybe it's not so crazy. Science can't say for sure how much plants feel, but it's clear they're far from silent spectators. And how about coincidences, those moments that make you stop and go, no way that just happened? You think about a friend and they text you. You miss a flight and later hear it crashed. Mathematically, it's just probability, but emotionally, It feels like the universe winking at you. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, a connection between mind and reality that isn't bound by logic. Maybe it's randomness. Or maybe there's a hidden thread tying moments together, one we just don't see. You ever look at the sky during a solar eclipse and wonder, why are the sun and moon exactly the same size from our view? The odds of that happening are insane, a total cosmic coincidence. The moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, but it's also 400 times closer to Earth. Perfect match. Science says it's geometry, but man, it feels almost deliberate. Like nature made sure we'd have something to marvel at. And while we're staring up there, let's not forget UFOs, or as the government likes to call them now, UEPs. For decades, pilots, radar operators, and even military folks have reported things flying in the sky that don't move like anything we know. No wings, no heat trails, instant acceleration. Governments release videos, hold hearings, say we're looking into it, but answers. Now, some say it's advanced human tech, others say it's visitors. Either way, something's out there we can't explain, and that alone keeps people awake at night. And maybe that's the thing, mystery doesn't always mean danger. Sometimes it's what keeps us alive, curious, human. The unknown makes us dream bigger, reach farther, imagine the impossible. Science can measure, predict, and categorize, but the world's heart still beats with wonder. And maybe that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Because in the end, maybe the greatest mystery isn't out there in the stars or hidden in the ocean. Maybe it's right here in us. The way we feel, connect, laugh, love, and still, somehow, crave answers to questions that might not even have any. Close your eyes for a second. Now ask yourself, where are you? Not your body. You. The you that thinks, remembers, imagines. That invisible voice behind your thoughts. Neuroscience says the mind is just electrical patterns, neurons firing, chemicals exchanging. But then, who's watching all that happen? Who's the one aware of those patterns? That's the strange loop of consciousness. The observer and the observed, the dreamer inside its own dream. We can scan brains, record thoughts, even predict decisions a few seconds before you make them. But no machine has ever found the exact location of awareness. It's like light. You can see what it touches, but never see light itself. Some scientists think consciousness is just an illusion, a trick of biology to keep us functional. Others believe it might be a fundamental force, woven into the universe like gravity. A few even wonder if consciousness doesn't come from the brain but through it, like a signal, and your brain is just the receiver. Now, imagine this. Every living thing as an antenna, tuned to the same mysterious frequency of existence. That would mean you, me, animals, even plants, we're all listening to the same silent broadcast. Different shapes, same signal. And maybe that's why humans have this strange urge to connect. We search for love, friendship, community, because on some level we remember being one thing. The universe before it split into billions of conscious pieces. But if the mind is so powerful, what happens when it dreams? When you sleep, your brain shuts down logic, time, and physics, and yet builds worlds more real than imagination. You can feel, smell, fly, cry inside a place made of pure thought. Dreams are like mini universes that vanish every morning. and no one truly knows where they come from or why they feel so real. Maybe dreams are just the brain sorting memories. Or maybe, for a few hours each night, we slip into another layer of existence, one where thought becomes matter instantly. Speaking of layers, let's talk time. We all think of it as a line, past right arrow, present right arrow, future. But physics says it might not be like that at all. Einstein called time a dimension, not a flow, meaning past and future might still exist, side by side with now. We just experience them in sequence, like frames in a film. If that's true, every moment, every laugh, every heartbreak, every breath you've ever taken still exists somewhere in space-time. Nothing truly disappears. It just moves out of view. And if time isn't flowing, then maybe you've already met your future self. You're just catching up. Wild, right? Here's another one, free will. Do you really choose your thoughts, or do they just appear? Try predicting your next idea before it happens. You can't. It just arrives fully formed. Maybe free will is real, maybe it's not, but either way it feels real. And maybe that feeling is what matters. Because the act of believing you have control might be what gives your story meaning. And meaning, that's a puzzle no one's solved. Science can explain how the heart beats, how stars form, how galaxies die. But it can't explain why any of it matters. Why we look up at the night sky and feel something. That quiet ache that says, I'm part of this. Maybe meaning isn't found, maybe it's made. Each choice, each moment of kindness, each spark of curiosity adds a line to the universe's unfinished poem. Sometimes people ask, if everything's temporary, what's the point? Maybe the point is the temporariness. Like fireworks, they're beautiful because they end. Life, too, is just long enough to notice its own wonder. And if we ever do uncover every secret, every equation, every law, every pattern, maybe the final discovery will be the simplest one. That the mystery was never something to solve. It was something to feel. Because wonder, that's what keeps us human. Not answers, not certainty. Just the willingness to look at the universe and whisper, wow. If you're still here, still listening, it means something inside you recognizes that pull, that quiet need to know. To peek behind the curtain and see what's really going on beneath all of this. The funny thing is, maybe that desire itself is the mystery. Because every human who's ever lived, from the first stargazer to the latest scientist with $1 million telescope, has looked up and wondered the same question. Why are we here? Why does it all exist? Why does the universe bother being anything at all? Science can tell us a lot, how stars burn, how planets form, how atoms dance. But when you strip everything down, when you get to that last unexplainable why, silence. Like the universe just smiles and says, that part's for you to figure out. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe science was never meant to explain everything. Maybe it's meant to show us how big everything really is, so we can remember how small and miraculous it feels to be alive inside it. Think about this. We live on a floating rock, spinning in an endless dark ocean of space, orbiting a star that's one of billions. And somehow on this tiny rock, life figured out how to open its eyes and wonder. That's insane. Out of all possible universes, we got this one, filled with laughter, heartbreak, memories, music, sunsets, and questions that don't have answers. Maybe the point of those unexplainable things, consciousness, time, intuition, love, is to keep us searching. Because if we ever did have every answer, if the map was complete, the story would be over. And who really wants that? Maybe mystery is what keeps us moving forward. Like a lighthouse on a foggy coast, we might never reach it, but its glow gives us direction. Every time we ask, why, we take another step closer to understanding not the universe, but ourselves. You ever notice how the most powerful things in life are the ones we can't measure? You can't weigh love. You can't time curiosity. You can't calculate hope. But they move the world more than any equation ever could. There's something poetic about that in a world built from physics, the strongest forces are invisible. You can't see them, but you can feel them. Kinda like dark matter holding galaxies together, or faith holding a soul together. And that's the beauty of it. Maybe science and spirituality aren't opposites at all. Maybe they're two languages trying to describe the same song, one counting the notes, the other feeling the melody. Some nights when the world's quiet and the city lights fade into the distance, just look up. That endless black sky you see, it's not empty. It's full of questions, full of energy, full of things we don't yet understand. And somewhere out there, light from a star that died before humans even existed is just now reaching your eyes. You're literally watching ancient history travel across the cosmos. That's not science fiction, that's real life. And in that tiny moment, standing there under infinity, you realize something. Maybe we're not supposed to explain it all. Maybe we're just supposed to be amazed. Because wonder is fuel. It's what makes kids ask questions, what makes artists create, what makes scientists look through telescopes, what makes you keep watching, keep learning, keep dreaming. It's the heartbeat of curiosity, and it's what makes us human. So maybe the most honest answer to 100 things science can't explain is this: science can't explain you. Your thoughts, your feelings, your memories, the way your heart hurts when you lose someone, or the way your chest fills when you hear your favorite song. No microscope, no formula, no data set can capture that. You're not just chemistry and electricity. Your consciousness wrapped in stardust, the universe looking back at itself and asking, what am I? And maybe that's the real miracle. Not that science can't explain everything, but that it even tries. That we keep exploring, knowing we'll never have all the answers, yet searching anyway. Because the search itself is beautiful. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember this. You don't need every mystery solved. Some things are meant to stay wild, to stay unexplainable, so that life never loses its magic. Because sometimes the unknown isn't something to fear. It's something to fall in love with. You ever just sit in silence and listen to the world? Not the noise, not cars, phones, or people, but the deeper hum underneath it all. The wind between trees, the rhythm of your own heartbeat, the way rain sounds like static from another dimension. Sometimes it almost feels like the universe is whispering, like it's trying to talk to us in a language we used to understand but somehow forgot. That's one of those things science still can't quite explain, why music, sound, and rhythm move us so deeply. Think about it. It's just vibrations. Air molecules bouncing off each other at certain frequencies. But play the right combination of those frequencies, and suddenly you're crying over a song that doesn't even have words. Why? Why does a melody reach parts of us logic can't touch? Maybe because, on some level, we're made of the same thing: vibration, frequency, energy. Science calls it resonance. Spirituality calls it connection. But whatever it is, it's real. When a singer hits that one note that gives you goosebumps, your body literally syncs with the sound. That's not imagination, it's physics. But it's also magic. And speaking of invisible forces, have you ever thought about gravity? Like, really thought about it. We live every second of our lives obeying it, but nobody truly knows what it is. Einstein said it's the warping of space-time. Newton said it's a force pulling objects together. And quantum physics, it's still shrugging like, we don't have the math for this yet. Gravity isn't just what keeps you grounded, it's what shapes the entire universe. It tells galaxies how to spin, stars when to die, and planets where to dance. It's so common we forget it's one of the biggest mysteries in existence. Science can describe what it does, sure, but why it does it, that's still a blank page. Now here's a weird thought. What if everything in existence has its own kind of gravity? Not just mass and matter, but emotion. Like, maybe certain moments in life pull us in the same way planets pull on moons. You ever feel drawn to a place or person for no reason at all? Maybe it's not random. Maybe it's just emotional gravity, souls orbiting each other across space and time. And that brings us to another mystery: love. Yeah, science can try to explain it through chemistry, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. But that's like describing a song by measuring the air pressure in your speakers. It misses the whole point. Love breaks every rule. It makes people do impossible things. It makes the toughest heart melt, and sometimes it hurts more than any wound. No microscope can find love, yet everyone who's ever lived has felt it. It bends logic, defies reason, and drives the world in ways no formula can define. Maybe love is the universe's way of reminding us that not everything important can be explained. Some things are meant to be experienced. And then there's luck. Scientists hate that word. They'll call it probability, coincidence, chance. But deep down, everyone's had that one moment where it felt like something bigger was playing with the odds. Like missing a bus only to run into someone who changes your life. Or dropping your keys, and because of that 3-second delay, you avoid an accident. Is that just random chance? Or is the universe quietly rearranging itself, nudging things, aligning paths, bending time? Some call it fate. Some call it chaos. Maybe it's both. Maybe the line between randomness and purpose is thinner than we think. And speaking of lines, let's talk about life itself. We know how it works. Cells divide, DNA copies, evolution shapes species. But we still can't explain how it began. Out of all the sterile rock and water, somehow the universe decided, let's try being alive. That first spark, the jump from chemistry to consciousness, remains unsolved. We can recreate the conditions, mix the ingredients, simulate the physics, but we can't make life. Not real, breathing, feeling life. Something's missing from the equation, something beyond atoms. And maybe that's the greatest mystery of all. That life is the universe becoming aware of itself. Every living thing, from a blade of grass to a human being, is the cosmos looking back and saying, I exist. We might spend lifetimes trying to understand it, But maybe, just maybe, understanding isn't the goal. Maybe the point is to keep asking, to stay curious, to stay in awe. Because in the end, science is just our best language for describing the indescribable. And mystery, that's the poetry that keeps it alive. So the next time you catch yourself wondering why music hits you so hard, or how gravity knows what to do, or why love makes your chest hurt in that weird, beautiful way, just smile. Because those are the edges of understanding, the parts that remind us there's still magic left in the world. Look up at the night sky for a second. Really look. Those tiny dots of light aren't just stars, they're entire histories, burning billions of years away. Their glow traveling across time just to reach your eyes tonight. You're not just looking at space, you're looking at the past. And maybe the future, too. That's the strange thing about the cosmos. It's full of rules we don't understand and patterns we can't explain. Even after all our telescopes, satellites, and equations, the universe still humbles us every time we think we've figured it out. Let's start with black holes, those cosmic monsters that swallow everything, even light. Science can describe them mathematically, sure, but nobody truly understands what happens inside one. It's a region where physics itself seems to break. Time slows, matter stretches, and information somehow disappears. But here's the real mystery. If information can't be destroyed according to physics, then where does it go? Stephen Hawking wrestled with that question his entire life, the famous information paradox. Some say black holes might be portals to other universes. Others think they're storage devices for cosmic data, holding the memories of everything they consume. Either way, black holes are like the universe's locked diaries, sealed shut, waiting for someone brave enough to read them. And then there's dark energy, the invisible force pushing the universe apart faster and faster. You'd think after decades of studying it, we'd at least know what it is. But nope. It's like cosmic anti-gravity, invisible, immeasurable, everywhere and unstoppable. It's literally expanding the fabric of space-time, stretching galaxies away from each other. One day, if it keeps going, every star in the sky might drift so far that the night will go completely dark. The universe could end not with a bang, but with silence, a slow fading of light into eternal black. And if that doesn't blow your mind, let's talk parallel universes. Quantum physics suggests that every decision, every possibility, might actually exist somewhere. Right now, there could be another version of you, sitting somewhere else, making a slightly different choice. Maybe they said yes when you said no. Maybe they turned left instead of right, and that one decision spun off an entirely new timeline. Some scientists believe these universes might actually interact, subtly, through quantum entanglement. When two particles become linked, they remain connected even across galaxies. Change one, and the other reacts instantly, faster than light. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, because even he couldn't explain it. It's like the universe has a secret messaging system that breaks all the rules. But maybe that's the point. Maybe space isn't empty, maybe it's alive. A vast ocean of invisible threads tying everything together, stars, people, thoughts. Every time you look at the sky and feel small, maybe that's not smallness. Maybe that's recognition. Your atoms came from those same stars. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all forged in stellar explosions billions of years ago. You are the universe looking back at itself. And if that's true, then maybe nothing is really far away. Maybe there's no such thing as out there. Maybe it's all in here, part of the same cosmic story repeating itself in endless forms. Here's a thought that always trips people out: the shape of the universe. We like to think it's infinite, but it might actually loop back on itself, like a giant cosmic donut. If you traveled far enough in one direction, you might end up right where you started, looking at the back of your own head through billions of light years of space. Time and space could be circular, not linear. And what if the universe isn't even the only one? Some theories say there's a multiverse, an endless sea of bubble-like universes floating together, each with its own laws of physics. Maybe one is filled with light, another with chaos, another with silence. And maybe ours is just one of the rare ones where the math happens to allow life. But let's pause there, because if you think about it too long, it starts to mess with your head in the best way. It's humbling. All those galaxies, all those stars, all that space, and yet somehow we're here, talking about it. A tiny species on a small rock orbiting an average star, daring to question infinity. And that's what's so beautiful about it. The universe doesn't need us to understand it, but it lets us try. Every telescope pointed upward, every question whispered into the night sky. It's all part of the same human story. The same curiosity that built fires in caves and spacecrafts in deserts. Maybe the reason science can't explain everything isn't because the answers don't exist, but because we're not supposed to finish the puzzle yet. Maybe mystery is the only thing that keeps us reaching higher. So next time you step outside at night, just look up. That little shimmer above you, that's not a star dying, that's a story, a memory, a spark from a place so far away your mind can barely grasp it. And yet, somehow, your heart understands it perfectly. Because even though science can't explain the whole universe, maybe your soul already does. You don't need to look into space to find mysteries science can't explain. Sometimes the strangest things happen right under our feet here, on this blue planet we call home. Let's start with one of the most famous enigmas of all, the Bermuda Triangle. You've heard the stories. Ships disappearing without a trace, planes vanishing mid-flight, no mayday calls, no wreckage. Just gone. For decades, scientists have tried to explain it. Magnetic anomalies, methane bubbles, rogue waves, human error. But none of those theories completely fit. There are cases where entire crews disappeared, but their ships were found floating, untouched, meals still on the tables, compasses spinning wildly. Some say it's a magnetic disturbance messing with instruments. Others whisper about underwater energy vortices or time warps. Maybe it's just myth. Maybe it's something science hasn't found the tools to measure yet. Then there's ball lightning. Imagine a glowing orb of electricity drifting slowly through the air, silent, bright, sometimes floating right through walls or windows, and then vanishing with a pop. Thousands of people have seen it, even pilots, but scientists still can't fully recreate or explain it. Some say it's plasma, others say it's electromagnetic energy looping on itself, but no one really knows. It's like the atmosphere occasionally remembers a trick from the beginning of time, and decides to show off. And the deep ocean, man, that's the closest thing we have to another planet. We've explored Mars more than our own seafloor. Down there, sunlight never reaches, pressure can crush metal, and yet life thrives. Strange glowing creatures drift in the darkness, using light as language. There are entire ecosystems built around boiling volcanic vents, where life feeds on minerals, not sunlight. Scientists are still discovering new species almost every dive. But every so often, they find something that doesn't fit, sounds that seem mechanical, structures that look built. Take the bloop, for example, a deep-sea sound recorded by NOAA in 1997. It was so loud it could be heard across the Pacific. At first, they thought it was a whale, but it was way too powerful, too deep, too massive. It came from nowhere, lasted seconds, and was never heard again. Some said it was ice cracking. Others said something else. But no one knows for sure. And speaking of the ocean, what about bioluminescence? Tiny organisms lighting up the sea like stars scattered in water. It's beautiful, but it's also strange. Why does life glow? For defense, for attraction, for communication. Science can explain some of it, but not why it evolved so perfectly, so poetically. It's as if the universe said, if you can't see the stars underwater, I'll make new ones for you. Now, climb from the ocean to the mountains and meet the Hessdalen lights in Norway. For decades, locals have seen glowing orbs hovering silently in the sky, darting, changing color, vanishing. Scientists camped out, filmed them, measured them, but still couldn't explain them. Some think it's charged particles from the valley's minerals reacting with the atmosphere. Others say it's something beyond science, energy we haven't named yet. Whatever it is, it's one of the few UFO phenomena that's been consistently documented, yet never solved. Then there's spontaneous human combustion. Yeah, it sounds like something from a horror movie, but there are real documented cases of people found burned to ash, while the furniture around them barely scorched. No accelerant, no open flame, no logical ignition point. Some theories talk about the wick effect, where body fat catches fire slowly. Others say static electricity, but no experiment has ever truly replicated it. It's one of those mysteries that makes even scientists whisper, "We don't know." And what about Earth's hum, a low-frequency vibration detected all over the planet, constantly? It's not caused by earthquakes or machinery. It's just there, like the Earth is humming softly to itself, a song we can't quite hear but can measure with the right instruments. Nobody knows what causes it. Maybe ocean waves hitting the seafloor, maybe something deeper. Maybe the planet's heartbeat. And speaking of strange vibrations, did you know that certain ancient structures around the world, like the Great Pyramids or Stonehenge, align perfectly with stars and solstices, built long before modern tools? How did civilizations thousands of years apart, oceans away, share the same astronomical precision? Coincidence, or knowledge passed through time in ways we still can't trace? The more we study Earth, the more it starts to feel like a living, breathing organism. Volcanoes act like pressure valves. Rivers move like veins. The atmosphere flows like breath. Maybe the planet isn't just a rock with life on it, maybe it's life itself. And that's the humbling part. We think of science as explaining everything around us, But sometimes the answers are buried too deep, hidden under oceans, mountains, or our own assumptions. Every time we uncover one mystery, another rises to take its place, as if the earth is saying, "You can know my surface, but never my soul." Maybe that's the beauty of it, living on a planet that still surprises us, still whispers, still hides secrets in its storms, caves, and seas. Because mystery doesn't just exist out there in the stars or galaxies. It's right here beneath your feet, waiting quietly in the dark. You think you know yourself. You walk around every day, feeling your heartbeat, thinking your thoughts, watching your body move. But the truth is, your own biology is full of riddles that science just can't fully explain. Take dreams, for example. Every night our brains switch into this strange, chaotic world where physics makes no sense. People we know say impossible things and emotions run wild. We've tried to map dreams, decode them, give them meaning. Freud said they're about repressed desires. Others say they're the brain sorting memories. Modern neuroscience even links them to emotional processing and learning. But ask anyone what their dreams mean, and you'll get 100 different answers. Why do some dreams feel prophetic, like they knew something before it happened? Why do some make you laugh uncontrollably, while others leave you trembling hours after waking? Science can describe the mechanics of REM sleep, but it can't explain why dreams feel real, why they can haunt us for decades, or why certain people, objects, or themes recur across generations. Dreams are like private movies, crafted in the dark theater of your mind, and sometimes they feel more alive than reality itself. Then there's intuition, that gut feeling that pops up without warning. You know the one, a sudden nope, don't go there, or a yes, that's right, that comes without reasoning. Evolutionary psychologists say it's pattern recognition, your brain picking up subtle cues before your conscious mind catches on. Maybe, but why does it sometimes feel like we're connecting to something bigger than ourselves, like a hidden thread running through events, linking moments in ways logic can't track? People have reported gut feelings that saved lives, predicted disasters, or revealed truths hidden from evidence. Scientists can't explain the mechanism. And let's be real, it feels almost magical when your brain whispers a warning or a nudge, and everything aligns with it. Memory is another wild frontier. You walk into a room and suddenly forget why you came, everyone's been there. Or you can remember a moment from childhood with crystal clarity, a smell, a song, a single word, but no one else recalls it. Modern neuroscience has mapped neurons, synapses, and chemical pathways. Yet memory remains slippery. Why do some memories fade while others stick forever? Why can emotional experiences leave deep imprints while mundane events vanish? And even stranger, why do false memories feel as vivid as true ones? Your brain is essentially a storyteller, remixing experiences with imagination, and sometimes it can't even tell the difference between what actually happened and what you think happened. Then there's placebo and nocebo effects, some of the most confounding phenomena in medicine. You can give someone a sugar pill, tell them it will help, and their symptoms improve dramatically sometimes. Or tell them it will harm them, and they experience side effects that aren't chemically possible. Doctors have measured brain activity, hormone levels, and neural pathways involved, but the why is still elusive. It's like the mind can rewrite the body, heal or harm itself, purely through belief. And the weirdest part, this isn't rare, it happens in ordinary people every day, often without anyone noticing. Your thoughts, your expectations, your beliefs, they are forces more powerful than we fully understand. Humans are also capable of extraordinary physical feats under extreme conditions, feats that defy conventional science. Soldiers lift cars to save loved ones. People run marathons despite injuries that should stop them. Someone survives freezing temperatures far beyond what textbooks say is possible. Adrenaline, endorphins, and stress hormones explain part of it, but not all. There's something in humans that pushes past the physical limits, something that refuses to be measured in lab reports. Maybe it's sheer will. Maybe it's biology we don't fully know. But it's undeniable that our bodies can do more than we think, often when survival or emotion is on the line. And then there's near-death experiences, one of the most talked about human mysteries. People report floating above their bodies, seeing tunnels of light, feeling peace, meeting deceased relatives, and returning with stories that feel more real than any dream. Some scientists suggest chemical changes in the brain during extreme trauma, oxygen deprivation, or neural activity gone haywire. But the uniformity of certain experiences across cultures, ages, and centuries is uncanny. People who weren't even religious report almost identical sensations. And yet, none of the brain scans or experiments can fully capture the experience. For those who have been there, it's real. For science, it's unsolved. Even consciousness itself, the thing that makes you you, is still a massive riddle. Your awareness, your thoughts, the way you perceive colors, smells, and emotions. Neuroscience can track neurons firing, brain regions lighting up, chemical balances, and synaptic activity. But why there's subjective experience at all? Why there's a you observing the world, rather than just a machine running on biology? That question keeps philosophers, physicists, and neurologists awake at night. Science can map consciousness, predict behavior, and simulate brain activity, but it can't tell us why it feels like anything at all. Even pain is weird. It's a signal, a warning. But the intensity, the location, the emotional toll, it's all subjective. One person's paper cut might feel like a nuisance, another's a dagger through the hand. Why? The pathways are the same, the neurons fire, but the experience is entirely personal. Pain is a riddle wrapped in survival, perception, and maybe emotion itself. And sleep, oh, sleep, is still mostly a mystery. We know it's vital. Deprive someone of sleep and their body, mind, and mood deteriorate. Yet we still don't fully understand why. We know it consolidates memory, clears waste from the brain, balances hormones, and refreshes cells. But why? Why does the brain need hours of blackout to function? Why can some creatures survive without obvious sleep, while humans crumble after days awake? Sleep is like the most essential luxury, and we still don't know its deepest purpose. The human body and mind are basically a personal universe, as strange and uncharted as the oceans or outer space. Every heartbeat, thought, dream, and feeling carries secrets science has yet to unlock. And that's what makes exploring it so thrilling. Every time you look inside yourself, you're stepping into the unknown. Your brain, your heart, your very cells, they're a mystery machine. They know more than you do. They remember more than you remember. They dream more than you can imagine. And the moment you think you understand them, that's when the mystery hits you again. You are, literally, walking around with an entire world inside that no microscope, no MRI, no experiment can fully explain. That's humbling, that's terrifying, and that's beautiful. Space. Just thinking about it makes your head spin, right? Billions of stars, planets, black holes, and cosmic phenomena that no human has ever touched, and yet we're obsessed with trying to understand it. And here's the kicker. The more we discover, the weirder it gets. Like, science can tell you some stuff about space, sure, but most of it, they're shrugging, scratching their heads, and admitting, we have no clue. Let's start with black holes because nothing screams mind melter like a region of space where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. They're these invisible monsters lurking out there, eating stars and bending time. Einstein's equations predicted them. And yeah, we've taken photos of their shadows, but here's the thing. What actually happens inside a black hole? You cross that event horizon and physics as we know it collapses. Space, time, matter, all mashed together into a singularity. Does anything survive? Is there some portal to another universe? Some cosmic nope, you're gone forever zone? Scientists don't know. And yet, we can observe their effects across galaxies. It's like having a monster in the backyard you can't see, but it's moving your house around. Crazy, right? Then there's dark matter and dark energy, which basically make up about 95% of the universe. Yeah, you heard that right. All the planets, stars, galaxies, all that stuff we can see. That's only 5% of what's out there. The rest is invisible, undetectable directly, and behaves in ways that don't make sense. Dark matter holds galaxies together. Dark energy makes the universe expand faster and faster, and we're still not sure what either really is. Imagine knowing your car exists but having no idea what fuel powers it, how it moves, or even what it's made of. That's humanity trying to understand dark matter. And physicists are not joking when they call it one of the biggest mysteries in all of science. Let's talk rogue planets, planets that float through space with no star to orbit. Yep, just drifting alone in the void, probably freezing cold and dark like cosmic loners. They're hard to detect, and some may outnumber the stars in our galaxy. Could life exist there? Maybe not in the sense we understand it, but it makes you wonder about the sheer variety of planetary life forms and worlds we haven't even begun to imagine. Some of these planets are like ghost ships sailing the universe. Now exoplanets, planets outside our solar system, are another mind-bender. Thousands have been discovered, many in the so-called Goldilocks zone, where conditions might allow life. But here's the thing, we can't see them directly. We detect shadows, wobbles, and dimming light, and somehow piece together an entire planet's existence from that. Think about it. Scientists can say a planet has oceans or a rocky surface, yet no human has ever set foot there. And some of these planets defy physics we thought we understood. Gas giants bigger than Jupiter that orbit their stars in days. Planets that rain molten glass sideways. worlds with skies that look like psychedelic paintings. Space doesn't play by our rules. Speaking of bizarre, neutron stars are like the universe showing off. These are remnants of massive stars that exploded as supernovae. A teaspoon of neutron star material weighs about 1 billion tons. 1 billion tons. It's a density that's literally unimaginable. And they spin at insane speeds, sometimes hundreds of times per second, emitting beams of radiation like cosmic lighthouses. Science can calculate some properties, but understanding what's happening inside them, that's beyond us. Then there's fast radio bursts, these insane, millisecond-long blasts of radio waves from galaxies billions of light years away. We detect them, we track them, but no one knows exactly what causes them. Maybe collapsing neutron stars, maybe black hole activity, maybe alien tech. Hey, can't completely rule it out, right? Every few days, some mysterious signal zips across the cosmos to our little blue planet, and all we can do is catch it and scratch our heads. And let's not forget the weird stuff in our own solar system. Like Saturn's hexagon, a six-sided jet stream spinning at the planet's north pole. It's perfectly geometric, perfectly persistent, and yet science can't fully explain why. Or the mysterious plumes on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, hinting at water under ice, possibly even life. And don't get me started on Uranus, it rotates on its side. No one knows why. The universe is basically trolling us with these puzzles. Then there's cosmic coincidences that make you go, whoa, what are the odds? Like the fine-tuning of the universe, gravity, electromagnetic forces, the speed of light, everything is balanced in such a way that life can exist. Change any parameter slightly, and boom, no stars, no planets, no life. How did it end up just right? Science offers explanations like multiverse theories or chance, but at the end of the day, the fact that we're here at all remains one of the universe's biggest mysteries. And get this, space is still full of stuff we haven't even discovered yet. We see the stars and galaxies, but what about rogue black holes, invisible nebulae, particles we can't detect, whole cosmic phenomena beyond our instruments? The universe is basically a giant "Do not enter" sign with a neon flashing arrow that says, "Good luck, humans." And the more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. Space makes Earth feel tiny, our problems petty, and our understanding embarrassingly incomplete. We can send rockets, we can probe planets, we can capture images of distant galaxies. Yet most of the universe remains invisible, incomprehensible, and utterly awe-inspiring. In the grand scheme, we're just a blip of consciousness on a small blue planet, orbiting an average star in a vast galaxy, which is itself one of billions. And all of that, just part of the 5% we can detect. The rest is mystery, pure, beautiful, terrifying mystery. So yeah, space is wild. And the more we look, the more the universe laughs at us, hiding secrets we may never fully understand. And honestly, that's the fun part, the thrill of standing under a night sky, knowing that somewhere out there, the unknown is endless, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface. Let's start with ball lightning. You've probably heard of regular lightning, that massive, blinding bolt that screams across the sky during storms. But ball lightning, That's like the universe decided to prank us. People report seeing glowing, floating orbs of electricity, sometimes as small as a baseball, sometimes as big as a basketball, drifting through the air, zipping around walls, and disappearing in a pop or a fizzle. Scientists have tried to recreate it in labs, measure it, and figure out the mechanism. But honestly, it's still largely a mystery. Some say it's plasma. Some say it's a hallucination caused by stress or toxins in the brain. But countless eyewitness accounts say otherwise. Imagine seeing a glowing orb dancing around your living room during a storm. Yeah, that's ball lightning. Freaky. Then there's spontaneous human combustion, the horror story that makes people sweat just thinking about it. People randomly burst into flames, usually alone with almost no external source of ignition. The bodies burn almost completely, sometimes leaving the surrounding objects barely singed. And scientists, they can't explain it. They try with theories like the wick effect, alcohol in the body, or electrical activity, but no explanation fits all cases. Imagine your neighbor just combusting one day. Creepy, right? And you've got falling frogs and fish from the sky. Yeah, I'm not joking. Every so often, tornadoes or waterspouts suck up frogs, fish, even small birds and rain them down somewhere else. It's like Mother Nature is playing a weird practical joke. But people witness it, record it, and sometimes it even happens during school recess. Kids are screaming, wet frogs everywhere, chaos. Scientists can technically explain the mechanics, but the sheer randomness and frequency still freaks people out. Nature's throwing a party and no one got invited. Now, speaking of nature, let's talk about bioluminescent phenomena. You've probably seen glowing mushrooms or algae on YouTube. They're beautiful, eerie, like something out of a sci-fi movie. But scientists still don't fully understand why some species glow the way they do. Is it communication? Defense? Attraction? In some cases, glowing forests or oceans appear for seemingly no reason at all. Imagine walking on a beach at night and the water lights up like the stars are spilling onto Earth. Magic? Science? Who knows? Then there's mysterious sounds from the sky, the so-called skyquakes. Low-frequency hums, booms, and metallic groans heard around the world. People record them, sometimes shaking windows and rattling nerves, yet the source remains unknown. Some think it's military testing, tectonic shifts, or atmospheric phenomena, but nothing matches the reports fully. Imagine sitting at home, and suddenly the sky groans like a giant metal drum. Yep, that's a real thing that's baffling scientists. We can't forget unexplained disappearances, like the infamous Dyatlov Pass incident in 1959, where 9 hikers in Russia were found dead under bizarre, chilling circumstances. Some had their clothes ripped off. Some had strange injuries inconsistent with an avalanche. And some seemed to have been exposed to extreme radiation. Despite decades of investigation, no one has a conclusive explanation. It's like a real-life horror story where the universe just shrugged and said, "Deal with it." Then you have weird creatures that defy classification, like the Mokolembembe in Africa, reported as a living dinosaur in the Congo River basin, or the chupacabra, supposedly sucking blood from livestock. Science tends to chalk these up to misidentifications, folklore, or exaggeration. But the persistence of these stories, eyewitness accounts, and some blurry photos keeps the mystery alive. There's something primal in humans, a desire to believe that the unknown is lurking just beyond the edge of what we can see. Let's get into psychic phenomena, telekinesis, precognition, and telepathy. Skeptics laugh, but the reports are everywhere. People predict earthquakes, wars, or accidents with uncanny accuracy. Others claim to move objects with their mind or read thoughts. Sure, controlled scientific experiments often fail to reproduce results, but that doesn't erase centuries of anecdotal evidence. Imagine knowing someone is calling before the phone rings, or feeling a loved one's pain from across the globe. Freaky stuff, right? And then there's sleep-related mysteries. Sleep paralysis, for example. You're lying there, paralyzed, awake, but something malevolent sits on your chest. Hallucinations, strange shadows, pressure on your body, all real experiences for the sleeper. Science says it's a mix of REM sleep and brain misfires, but that doesn't make it any less terrifying when it happens. People swear they've seen dark figures, felt presences, and some even claim to be abducted during these episodes. Your own body turns against you, talk about creepy. Finally, we've got strange natural formations, like the sailing stones of Death Valley, massive boulders moving across dry lake beds with no human or animal intervention. Scientists now think ice, wind, and mud work together to move them. But some stones move faster, in unpredictable patterns, and leave trails that don't fully match current explanations. Imagine walking out into a desert and seeing giant rocks on a random stroll, like they've got a mind of their own. Earth is basically a playground for mysteries. From flaming humans to floating frogs, glowing oceans to groaning skies, the planet is packed with phenomena that science can sometimes explain, often theorize about, but never fully grasp. It makes you feel small, confused, and maybe a little scared, but mostly in awe of how weird and wild our home really is. Have you ever zoned out, staring at nothing, and suddenly felt like your mind was somewhere else entirely? Like time slowed down or sped up? That's consciousness, the most intimate mystery we all live inside of but can't fully measure. Scientists can map the brain, see neurons firing, measure brain waves, and even predict some decisions before you're aware of them. But none of that explains subjective experience, what it actually feels like to be you, right here, right now. Why does seeing a sunset feel magical? Why does listening to a song hit you right in the chest? Why do thoughts even exist? We can record patterns in your brain, but the you experiencing them is still off limits. And then there's lucid dreaming, a weird state where you're aware that you're dreaming and can sometimes control what happens. Some people fly through cities, visit other planets, or meet their younger selves. Scientists study it, track eye movements during REM sleep, and even send signals to dreamers. But no one knows why the brain creates these fully immersive worlds that feel just as real as waking life. Imagine living entire adventures in your head while your body lies there, doing absolutely nothing. It's like having a movie theater built into your skull that no one else can enter. Ever hear of near-death experiences? People who almost die report floating above their bodies, moving through tunnels of light, meeting deceased relatives, or feeling intense peace. Scientists argue oxygen deprivation or neurotransmitter surges might explain some of it, but accounts are strikingly similar across cultures, ages, and religions. People claim these experiences change their entire lives, making them more compassionate, fearless, or spiritual. What triggers them, and why do some people have them while others don't? Science has guesses but no concrete answers. Then there's the whole weird realm of memory glitches. False memories, repressed memories, déjà vu, these mess with your perception of reality. You could remember something vividly from childhood, only to find out it never happened. Or walk into a room and get hit with an intense sense of familiarity, even though you've never been there. Scientists can study brain structures, hippocampi, and synaptic patterns, but why memory is so unreliable, why it bends and warps over time, is still a mystery. It's like your own brain is both the storyteller and the trickster, making up a narrative while keeping you convinced it's all true. Let's not forget intuition, that gut feeling, that something's off vibe. You can't explain it logically. Sometimes your brain just knows, and often it's right. Psychologists try to say it's pattern recognition from previous experiences, but how some people seem to read situations or people with uncanny accuracy, even strangers, still escapes complete understanding. Why do we even have it? Why do some trust it and some ignore it? And why does ignoring it sometimes feel like walking blind into a trap? Then there's phantom limb syndrome, people losing an arm or a leg, but still feeling pain, itchiness, or movement in the missing limb. How can your brain send signals to a limb that isn't there? Neural maps, cortical reorganizations, and mirror therapy explain parts of it. But the fact that the sensation is real even without a limb is mind-bending. Imagine your body lying in a hospital bed while your brain keeps screaming, "My hand hurts." It's a literal battle between mind and body, a fight science still can't fully explain. Sleep itself is a mystery. Sleepwalking, sleep talking, night terrors, people act out whole scenes while unconscious, sometimes performing complex tasks. How is it that the brain can coordinate walking, talking, or cooking while fully asleep? And why do we only partially remember it, if at all? Some cultures treated sleepwalking like possession or spirits because it looks so surreal. Science can describe neural activity during sleep, but the why these behaviors emerge and why consciousness sometimes slips away, remains elusive. Ever think about creativity? That sudden spark, that aha moment when you suddenly see the answer or imagine something completely new. We know parts of the brain are involved, frontal cortex, default mode network, but why inspiration hits at unpredictable times? Why a song, a painting, or a poem comes alive from nothing? Science can study brain chemistry, but the magic of creation, that flash of human genius, isn't fully captured by charts or scans. It's like a lightning strike in your brain that nobody can forecast. And then there's hallucinations, both drug-induced and spontaneous. Some people see, hear, or feel things that aren't physically there. Scientists explain them as misfiring neurons or chemical imbalances, but the content is often meaningful, emotional, symbolic. People experience profound truths or terrifying visions that feel real, even though they exist only in the mind. Why does the brain create such vivid realities out of nothing? And why can some people harness these hallucinations for insight while others are trapped in terror? Finally, consciousness itself, the big one. We feel alive, aware, thinking, dreaming, experiencing emotions, sensing, deciding. And yet, we can't define it, measure it, or even fully explain why it exists at all. Some argue consciousness is an emergent property of complex neurons firing. Others say it's fundamental, as essential as space or time. Some suggest it might be connected to quantum phenomena, but truthfully, no one knows. It's the ultimate mystery we all live with, the part of us that asks, who am I? And why am I here? Human minds are playgrounds of unexplained phenomena, dreams, near-death experiences, intuition, memory quirks, creativity, hallucinations, and consciousness itself. We are the only species known to ask these questions, to observe our own thoughts and emotions, to wonder why we exist. And the closer we look, the stranger it gets. Science gives clues, but the essence, the feeling, the experience stays just out of reach. It's humbling, terrifying, and awe-inspiring all at once. Think about your heartbeat for a second. Boom, boom, boom. It never stops from the moment you're born until the moment you die. But why exactly does it speed up when you're scared, slow down when you're relaxed, or skip a beat when your emotions hit hard? Sure, we know the basics, your nervous system, adrenaline, vagus nerve, hormones. But have you ever noticed how a song, a memory, or even a smell can literally make your heart race or stall? That intimate connection between body and emotion, where biology meets pure feeling, is still partly mysterious. Your body doesn't just react to the world, it remembers it, embeds it into every cell, every pulse, and sometimes in ways even you don't understand. Then there's laughter. Humans laugh, often for no reason at all, for joy, nervousness, or sheer absurdity. Animals can make noises that look like laughter, but nothing like the full-blown, contagious human laugh exists elsewhere. Why does something as simple as a joke or a goofy face trigger muscles, endorphins, tears, and pure joy all at once? Science can track endorphin release and neural activity, but it doesn't explain why the act of laughing makes life feel lighter, as if the body itself is celebrating its own weird existence. And speaking of celebrating the body, goosebumps are one of those tiny, inexplicable things we all get. When you're cold or scared, your skin erupts in tiny peaks. Fine, we get the evolutionary reason, keeping warm, making yourself look bigger. But what about when they appear during a song, a movie, or a beautiful sunset? Why does your skin respond to emotion the same way it responds to cold? It's a literal shiver running through your nervous system, connecting biology to aesthetics, and science still doesn't fully get it. Let's talk sweat. Your body drips when it's hot, nervous, or working hard. But why does the same fluid appear when you're terrified versus when you're working out? Sweat is more than a cooling mechanism. It's a complex chemical cocktail, carrying pheromones, stress signals, and even subtle markers that may influence others. Humans are leaking signals constantly, yet most of them are invisible. Your body is broadcasting secrets you don't even know about. Pain is another one. We all feel it, but Why does it feel so personal, so real, so emotionally gripping? Two people can have the same injury and one screams while the other barely flinches. Scientists know about nociceptors, neural pathways, and chemical mediators. But pain is more than a signal. It's wrapped in fear, memory, anticipation, and your personal narrative. The brain can literally turn down or amplify pain at will, as seen in meditation or adrenaline-fueled situations. And yet the ultimate why of the feeling remains murky. Ever notice how sometimes your body knows before your brain does? You'll suddenly feel anxious or elated before knowing why. Your gut tightens, your skin tingles, your chest flutters. That's the nervous system speaking faster than conscious thought. Scientists call it the enteric nervous system, the second brain. But what drives its uncanny instincts and gut feelings is still mysterious. Why do these signals sometimes warn of danger, sometimes just confuse us, and sometimes guide our best decisions? Sleep is a body mystery all on its own. We spend a third of our lives asleep, but why exactly? We know it restores energy, consolidates memory, and repairs cells, but the more we study it, the more bizarre it becomes. Dreams, sleep paralysis, sleepwalking, night terrors. The brain and body coordinate in ways that are still partly indecipherable. Some people sleep just a few hours and thrive. Others need 10 to feel human. Even the exact chemical triggers that dictate REM cycles or deep sleep stages are only partially mapped. Sleep is one of the most intimate, yet elusive human experiences. Then there's the immune system, a battlefield inside you that you never see but constantly rages. Pathogens attack, and your body fights back with an army of cells, antibodies, and chemical messengers. But why do some people resist illnesses seemingly effortlessly while others get knocked out by the tiniest bug? Genetics, exposure, environment, sure, those factors play roles. But the subtle, inexplicable way the body adapts, remembers, overreacts, or underreacts is still beyond complete understanding. Your own immune system is partly a mystery even to you. Ever think about aging? Why do we age, really? Cells divide, DNA mutates, telomeres shorten, science explains part of it. But why do we age at different rates? Why do some people stay sharp and spry into their 90s while others fade early? Why do some species barely age at all, while humans show obvious decline? We know damage accumulates, but the deeper mechanisms, the why the program runs this way part, is still unsolved. Aging is the ultimate paradox. Inevitable yet varied, slow yet sudden, a constant reminder of our fragility. Pain, sleep, emotions, instincts, aging, our bodies are walking mysteries. We move, breathe, sweat, shiver, bleed, and heal, all without fully understanding the why behind it. We are alive, aware, and in constant conversation with our own selves, yet some of the deepest processes, the ones that define life itself, remain unexplained. Science can describe the machines, measure the chemicals, track the neurons. But the experience, the raw, messy, beautiful being, that part is still a riddle. Let's start with Earth's weather, the stuff we think we understand because we live in it every single day. But seriously, we don't. Tornadoes can form out of almost nowhere, spinning like giant vacuum cleaners, and despite advanced forecasting, they still catch towns off guard. Hurricanes appear, intensify, and sometimes weaken in ways we just can't predict. Scientists know the physics, wind currents, ocean temperatures, pressure systems, but the exact way all these forces come together in precise timing, that's still mysterious. Some storms even behave in ways that seem to break the rules, twisting, stalling, or shifting paths unexpectedly. Mother Nature keeps her cards close to the chest. Speaking of weather, have you ever heard of ball lightning? Forget regular lightning. This is the stuff of sci-fi. Imagine a glowing orb, sometimes the size of a grapefruit, floating across a field or even drifting into a house. People have reported these things for centuries. They can appear, hover silently, bounce, and then vanish, sometimes with a bang, sometimes just fading like a ghost. Plasma, vaporized silicon, chemical reactions in the air theories exist, but none explain every sighting. Ball lightning is the universe's way of reminding us that even when we think we know the rules of physics, reality has a few wild cards. Then there's earthquake lights, another spooky phenomenon. Before or during some big earthquakes, people have seen flashes of blue or white light, flickering along the ground or floating overhead. Ancient texts and modern cameras confirm it's real, but why? Some think rocks under stress release electric charges. Others suggest gases ionized by tectonic movement glow in the air. But not all earthquakes produce them, and even similar earthquakes can yield totally different light shows. It's like the Earth is whispering secrets and we're only catching snippets. Volcanoes are no less mysterious. Sure, we know magma rises, pressure builds, gas expands, and eventually it explodes. But the real mystery is why some volcanoes sleep for centuries and then erupt with terrifying fury, wiping landscapes and altering global climates. Krakatoa, Tambora, Toba, these eruptions unleashed energy on a scale that boggles the mind. Scientists monitor tremors, gas emissions, and magma chambers, but predicting the exact tipping point? Nope. Volcanoes remind us that Earth isn't just a rock we live on. It's alive, volatile, and unapologetically unpredictable. Now, plate tectonics might seem boring, continents drifting slowly, mountains rising, oceans opening, but this slow-motion drama shapes life itself. Yet, why Earth has plate tectonics while Venus and Mars do not is still up in the air. Some say water lubricates the crust. Some think internal heat reached just the right balance. Maybe ancient impacts cracked the crust. Whatever it was, this slow dance of massive plates gave us mountains, earthquakes, volcanoes, and ultimately, life as we know it. And yet, we still don't know why it started here and nowhere else. Earth's water is another crazy puzzle. Oceans, rivers, rain, it seems so ordinary, but its origin is mysterious. Did water arrive via asteroids and comets? Was it trapped inside Earth from the start? Maybe both. Either way, Earth is this 1 in a billion planet where water could gather and stay stable. The chemistry, the timing, the luck, it's a cosmic accident or a miracle we can't fully explain. Every sip of water carries the whisper of the universe's early chaos. And don't get me started on Earth's magnetic field. Deep in the planet's core, molten iron swirls around a solid inner core, generating a magnetic shield that protects us from deadly solar radiation. We feel its effects daily in compasses, auroras, and the very air we breathe. Yet how it works in full detail is still beyond our reach. Poles flip unpredictably. Field strength wobbles. Mars had a magnetic field, lost it, and became barren. Earth kept hers. Why? No one really knows. Ice ages are equally baffling. For millions of years, Earth has swung between deep freezes and warmer periods, shaping continents and life itself. Milankovitch cycles, volcanic activity, ocean currents, carbon dioxide all play roles, sure. But why exactly these cycles repeat? And why the planet tips from ice to thaw with such timing remains a big question mark. Humans, animals, and ecosystems have all danced to these rhythms without knowing the conductor. Mass extinctions are even more terrifying. Life on Earth has been nearly wiped out 5 times. Dinosaurs, gone. Most life 250 million years ago, gone. Sometimes it's clear an asteroid hit, a supervolcano erupted. Other times it's a messy cocktail of disasters. And why do some species survive while others vanish? Life is fragile, unpredictable, and stubborn all at once. Science explains the mechanics, but the why of survival and extinction, that's still a riddle. And then there's Saturn's rings, which look timeless but may only be a few 100 million years old. Ice, dust, pristine beauty. Why do they exist now and not earlier or later? Maybe a moon got too close. Maybe an asteroid broke apart. Maybe something else. For a blink of cosmic time, Saturn wears a crown, and no one knows exactly why. Let's start with Uranus, the sideways planet. Unlike most planets spinning upright, Uranus rolls along its orbit like it's on a cosmic skateboard, tilted about 98 degrees. Imagine that, decades of sunlight for one pole while the other bakes in darkness. How did it get this way? The leading idea is a colossal collision eons ago, a protoplanet slamming into it like a cue ball on a cosmic pool table. But shouldn't such an impact leave more obvious scars? Other theories suggest smaller hits or gravitational shoves from other giant planets early in the solar system's messy youth. Whatever the cause, Uranus is a walking, rolling puzzle. Its sideways spin affects seasons, atmosphere, and even its wacky magnetic field, which is tilted and offset like it's shrugging at the rest of the universe. Then there's Venus, Earth's mysterious twin with a personality all its own. It spins backwards. Yep, while most planets rotate one way, Venus says, "Nah, I'll go the other way," rising in the west and setting in the east. A single day is longer than a year on Venus, and beneath its thick, toxic clouds of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid, scientists still debate its strange rotation. Was it a massive collision flipping it, tidal forces with the sun, or just a slow dance of atmospheric friction and internal chaos? No one knows for sure. Venus is like that friend who looks familiar but keeps secrets you just can't crack. Out at the edge, Neptune rages with storms that would make any Earth hurricane look like a gentle breeze. Winds howl at nearly 2,000 km/h. Storms appear and vanish. And the famous Great Dark Spot discovered by Voyager 2 in 1989 disappeared when Hubble looked a few years later. What drives such violent weather so far from the sun, with almost no solar energy? Some say internal heat fuels it. Others think atmospheric dynamics amplify tiny fluctuations into massive tempests. The truth is, we just don't fully understand it yet. Neptune is the frozen, untamed tempest of our neighborhood, a reminder that even the far reaches of the solar system have their secrets. And speaking of storms, Jupiter's great red spot has been spinning for centuries, possibly over 350 years, maybe longer. A storm so huge it could swallow Earth whole, and it's shrinking. Why has it lasted so long when storms on Earth barely survive a week? Scientists know it's an anticyclone, spinning counterclockwise in Jupiter's southern hemisphere, powered by the planet's massive atmosphere. But the reason for its endurance, its size, its cyclical nature, that's still mysterious. Will it vanish completely or just morph into something new? Nobody knows, and that's part of the fascination. Then we have comets and the mysterious Oort cloud, a hidden reservoir far beyond Pluto. Comets swoop in from the cold, dark edges of the solar system, trailing icy tails and occasionally dazzling the Earth. But where exactly do they come from? The Oort cloud is thought to contain trillions of icy bodies, leftovers from the solar system's birth. It's so far away we've never seen it directly. We know it exists because of the comets it hurls our way, but its exact shape, size, and formation remain a ghostly mystery. It's like a cosmic attic filled with forgotten treasures we can barely glimpse. Moons are just as wild. Europa, Enceladus, and Titan hide oceans beneath thick ice, oceans possibly larger than all the seas on Earth combined. Enceladus even sprays water into space through its south pole cracks. Salts, organics, signs of chemical reactions that could hint at habitability. Europa shows surface cracks and activity that suggest a churning ocean below. Titan has lakes and rivers, but made of methane instead of water, and somehow these seas keep refilling despite sunlight slowly destroying methane in its atmosphere. What's the mechanism? Cryovolcanoes, underground chemistry, maybe even biological processes. We just don't know. These moons are alien worlds that hint at the possibility of life beyond Earth, and the more we learn, the more questions pile up. Mars is another tantalizing puzzle. Billions of years ago, rivers carved valleys, deltas formed, lakes filled basins. It may even have had oceans. Today, it's a frozen desert. Where did all the water go? Some is locked as ice underground, some trapped in minerals, and some escaped into space when Mars lost its magnetic field. But we still can't piece together the full story. Could there be flowing liquid water underground today, hidden from our rovers and satellites? If so, could life survive there? Mars teases us with clues while keeping its deepest secrets locked tight. And then there's mathematics itself, strangely bridging our minds and the cosmos. Equations humans dream up seem to map the universe with uncanny precision. Einstein predicted black holes before anyone saw one. Maxwell described radio waves long before detection. Are we discovering truths built into the universe, or have our brains evolved to interpret the cosmos this way? Why does abstract math match reality so perfectly? It's a puzzle as old as human thought, echoing from Earth to the farthest reaches of space. Finally, the constants of nature, the speed of light, gravity's pull, the charge of an electron, all locked in numbers so precise that the universe can exist. Change them slightly and stars don't form, chemistry fails, life becomes impossible. Why these values? Why not others? Some imagine a multiverse where countless universes have different constants. Others think deeper. Hidden principles we haven't grasped yet dictate the cosmic settings. Whatever the truth, we live in a universe that somehow got it just right. A miraculous, mind-boggling coincidence. Let's start with antimatter, the ultimate cosmic balance game. The Big Bang should have made equal amounts of matter and antimatter. You know, perfect symmetry. But there's a catch. When matter and antimatter meet, they annihilate each other in a flash of energy. So if the universe had been perfectly balanced, poof, nothing. No stars, no planets, no humans sipping coffee right now. And yet, here we are. Somehow, matter won the cosmic lottery. Experiments show tiny asymmetries in how matter and antimatter behave, but they're nowhere near enough to explain why anything exists at all. Somewhere in those first seconds of the cosmos, something tipped the scale, and we're still scratching our heads, wondering why the universe didn't just cancel itself out. Then there's mass, which feels so obvious until you start questioning it. Everything around you, your chair, your coffee mug, the floor beneath your feet has mass. But why? For decades, scientists wondered how particles get mass, until the Higgs boson popped into the picture in 2012. It confirmed an invisible field that permeates the universe. Particles moving through it acquire mass, like trying to swim through molasses. Without this field, matter wouldn't exist. But here's the kicker. The Higgs only solves part of the puzzle. Why does the Higgs field exist? Why is its strength just so? Why do some particles interact more than others? The mystery only deepens the more you think about it. Mass feels solid, tangible, real, but its origin is still a cosmic riddle. Now, let's get weird with quantum mechanics, where reality itself refuses to play by the rules we're used to. At the quantum level, particles can be in multiple places at once, teleport across space, or just pop in and out of existence. Electrons might be here or there or both until we peak. Radioactive atoms decay unpredictably with no visible cause. Einstein famously hated it. God does not play dice with the universe, he said, but the dice may be rolling after all. Experiments suggest true randomness exists at the quantum level. Maybe uncertainty isn't ignorance. Maybe it's baked into reality itself. It's like the universe is tossing a cosmic coin, and sometimes it lands on the edge. Time is another mind bender. We live in it, feel it, schedule our lives around it, yet science still can't fully explain what it is. Einstein showed time isn't absolute. It stretches, bends, and warps depending on speed and gravity. A clock in orbit ticks differently than one on Earth, and yet we experience time as a one-way arrow. The past feels fixed, the future open. Some physicists tie it to entropy, the tendency of disorder to increase. But then you ask, why was the universe born so ordered that time could flow this way? Others suggest time might even be an illusion, a trick of perception. It governs everything, our thoughts, our lives, our history, yet it remains one of the deepest mysteries of all. Reality might also be continuous or pixelated, and we don't know which. To our eyes, space is smooth, infinite and divisible. But at the Planck scale, unimaginably tiny, 100 billion times smaller than a proton, space may be granular, foamy, pixel-like. Physics might have a bottom floor, a smallest possible unit beyond which smaller has no meaning. If true, it would rewrite everything we know about the fabric of reality. Every theory, every law we've formulated would be a map of a world that's not actually smooth at its core. Even randomness itself is up for debate. Flip a coin, roll a die, shuffle a deck, all seem unpredictable. But quantum mechanics makes it stranger. Randomness may be fundamental, woven into the very structure of existence. If the universe itself includes true randomness, then uncertainty isn't just a human limitation. It's built into reality. The universe might be a mix of order and chaos, predictable in some ways, utterly mysterious in others. And the laws of physics, gravity, electromagnetism, quantum mechanics, could have been completely different. Why these laws and not others? Why a universe where stars form instead of one where matter drifts apart? Some imagine a multiverse, countless universes, each with different laws, and ours just happens to be the one where life can exist. Others suspect deeper, unknown principles set the rules in place. But we don't know for sure. We can describe the rules, but why the rules themselves exist, that might be the ultimate puzzle. Even something as basic as space itself might have a limit. Could there be a smallest length, a pixel at the base of the cosmos? Physics keeps pushing, splitting atoms, discovering quarks, exploring the quantum realm. Yet we may never reach the foundation of reality. If a smallest unit exists, it changes everything we think we know about infinity, continuity, and the very concept of space. Finally, there's the existential kicker. Will we ever truly understand it all? Maybe we'll explain consciousness, the birth of the universe, the ultimate laws of reality. Or maybe, like staring into the night sky, there will always be mysteries just beyond our reach. Curiosity itself, that relentless why, might be part of the puzzle. To wonder is to be human. To seek is to live. And perhaps the biggest mystery of all is not the universe outside, but our place within it. Let's kick things off with Earth's magnetic field, the invisible shield that keeps our planet alive. Deep down, more than 3,000 kilometers under our feet, molten iron and nickel swirl in the outer core. This motion generates the magnetic field that protects us from solar winds and cosmic radiation. Without it, Earth might be barren like Mars, stripped of atmosphere and life. But here's the catch. We can't see it directly. We rely on seismic waves, magnetic records, and computer models to piece it together. We know the outer core flows like a liquid, powering the geodynamo. But why does it sometimes weaken, wobble, or even flip entirely? Other planets, like Mars, lost their magnetic shields long ago. Why did Earth hang on? The beating heart of our planet remains a secret, shaping everything from auroras to compasses and even life itself. And speaking of flips, Earth's magnetic poles have reversed multiple times in history. North becomes south, south becomes north. Rocks record these ancient reversals, showing a flip-flop pattern stretching millions of years back. The last full reversal happened around 780,000 years ago. Scientists think turbulence in the liquid outer core destabilizes the field, causing it to collapse and rebuild in the opposite direction. But the triggers, the timing, the speed all remain mysterious. Some flips are sudden, others take thousands of years. And during these shifts, the field weakens, letting more cosmic radiation hit Earth. Did past reversals affect evolution? Did they cause unknown disasters? We don't know. All we know is that this invisible force is fragile, dynamic, and unpredictable. Next up, ice ages, the epic swings of climate that have shaped life on Earth. Over millions of years, glaciers have advanced and retreated, carving valleys, shaping mountains, and forcing humans and animals to adapt or perish. But why do ice ages happen? Scientists point to Milankovitch cycles, subtle changes in Earth's orbit and tilt that alter sunlight distribution. Others suggest volcanic activity, ocean currents, or feedback loops involving carbon dioxide. Likely, it's a complex cocktail of all these factors. Ice ages have influenced migrations, agriculture, and the rise and fall of civilizations. Yet, the engine behind these repeated freezes and thaws remains partly unknown. Earth's climate is never fixed, always dynamic and endlessly mysterious. Now, hold on tight, because mass extinctions take things to a whole new level. Life on Earth has been wiped out nearly 5 times, with some events more catastrophic than the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. The Great Dying, 250 million years ago, nearly annihilated all species. Causes vary: asteroid impacts, supervolcanoes, climate shifts, oceanic upheavals, sometimes all at once. What determines which species survive and which vanish? Why did mammals endure while dinosaurs didn't? Why do some extinctions creep along slowly, while others strike in an instant? These cataclysms are reminders of life's fragility and resilience, but their triggers remain largely mysterious. Shifting gears to Saturn's rings, because we're leaving Earth for a sec, but still staying in the solar system. Saturn's icy rings stretch hundreds of thousands of kilometers, yet are astonishingly thin, sometimes only a few dozen meters deep. For centuries, we assumed they were ancient, like Saturn itself. But recent evidence shows they're surprisingly young, maybe just a few 100 million years old, a blink of an eye in cosmic time. How did they form? Maybe a moon wandered too close and got ripped apart, or comets and asteroids shattered to create the debris. Whatever the mechanism, these rings are likely temporary, destined to fall into the planet eventually. We're lucky to witness Saturn in its glittering crown era. Back to Earth-adjacent mysteries, Uranus and Venus. Uranus spins on its side, a full 98 degrees tilt, unlike any other planet. One pole faces the sun for decades while the other lies in darkness. Theories: a massive collision long ago, or maybe multiple smaller impacts or gravitational tugs from giant planets. We just don't know. Venus rotates backward. On Venus, the sun rises in the west. A day on Venus is longer than its year. Massive collisions, tidal forces, or atmospheric dynamics may explain it, but no theory fully fits. These quirks remind us that even familiar planets hide deep mysteries. Earth itself may hold clues to life's survival, like hidden oceans beneath icy moons and geysers on Enceladus. But Earth's own features, its tectonic plates, volcanic activity, magnetic field, remain puzzles. Why did plate tectonics start here but not on Venus or Mars? Did water lubricate the crust? Did impacts trigger fractures? We don't know. Without this churning, Earth might be lifeless, barren. And volcanoes themselves sometimes erupt with terrifying unpredictability. Krakatoa in 1883, Tambora in 1815, and Toba 74,000 years ago unleashed catastrophic energy, with Toba nearly wiping out humanity. We monitor tremors and gases, yet supereruptions remain largely unsolved mysteries. In short, our planet is alive, dynamic, and often unpredictable. Magnetic flips, ice ages, mass extinctions, tectonic mysteries, and supereruptions all show us how fragile yet resilient Earth is. We walk on its surface thinking we understand it, but Earth is a living riddle, a complex system we're only beginning to grasp. Its forces shape life, civilization, and the very possibility of our existence. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much we don't. Let's start close to home with Earth's water. We drink it, swim in it, rely on it every second of our lives. But where the heck did it all come from? Scientists aren't totally sure. One theory says water was delivered by asteroids and comets slamming into Earth during its early chaos. Many of these space rocks carry ice, which could have added up over millions of years. But here's the kicker. The chemical fingerprints of Earth's water don't always match those comets. Another idea. Some water may have been locked deep in Earth's mantle from the very beginning, slowly seeping to the surface over eons. Maybe it's a mix, some born here, some delivered from space. Either way, the oceans you see every day are part of a mystery stretching back billions of years. Water is so ordinary that we forget how extraordinary it is. Every sip carries a riddle older than civilization itself. Now let's zoom out a bit. Our moon isn't just a pretty nightlight. The far side, hidden from Earth for millennia, looks radically different. The near side has vast dark plains, or maria, while the far side is rugged, mountainous, and almost maria-free. Why such a difference? Some say Earth's gravity baked one side more intensely, while others point to ancient collisions reshaping hemispheres. Maybe it's the moon's internal dynamics, or uneven crust thickness. The far side remains a ghostly stranger, a reminder that even our closest celestial neighbor hides secrets. Speaking of hidden seas, several moons in our solar system are full of surprises. Europa, Enceladus, and Titan hide vast oceans beneath icy shells, possibly larger than all Earth's oceans combined. Europa's cracked surface hints at a liquid ocean underneath. Enceladus sprays water and organics through geysers into space. And Titan is flat out wild. It has rivers, lakes, and seas, but made of methane. And somehow these seas keep replenishing despite sunlight breaking down methane molecules. Cryovolcanoes, unknown underground chemistry, possibly even life. Scientists don't know yet, but these moons are hot spots for the ultimate question. Are we alone in the universe? Enceladus deserves a special shout-out. Cassini flew past this small, icy moon and found geysers shooting water, salts, and organics into space. That's right, the stuff that might hint at habitability is being ejected into space like a cosmic message in a bottle. What stirs this water? Hydrothermal vents like Earth's deep oceans. Some alien process we can't even imagine. For a moon barely 500 km across, it's a powerhouse of mystery. Titan is equally mind-blowing. Imagine a world with methane rain, methane lakes, and methane rivers. Its atmosphere is hazy, chemistry alien, weather bizarre. The mystery: methane should have been destroyed by sunlight long ago, yet it's still there. Something deep underground or chemical processes unseen are replenishing it. And methane could even be a biosignature. Could life exist in a liquid methane ocean? We have no clue. This isn't sci-fi, it's real, out there in our own backyard of the solar system. Mars, too, tells a story of lost water. Billions of years ago, it had flowing rivers, lakes, maybe even oceans. Valleys, deltas, and lake beds litter the surface. Today, it's dry, frozen, almost barren. Some water is trapped under the surface as ice, some locked in minerals. Some may have escaped into space when Mars lost its magnetic shield. But what truly happened to all that water? Was it gradual or sudden? Could liquid water still exist underground? Each discovery reshapes our understanding and hints at a one-sweat, potentially life-supporting planet. And it's not just the presence of water, it's the why and how that's mind-bending. Why does Earth have stable oceans while Venus and Mars don't? Why did water survive Earth's violent early years without boiling off into space? These questions tie into plate tectonics, volcanic activity, atmosphere, magnetic fields, the forces all working together in ways we still don't fully get. Earth may look ordinary, but it's a finely tuned miracle of chemistry and physics. Let's go further into the cosmos. Mathematics is another kind of hidden water, a universal language flowing through the universe. Equations we dream up on paper describe black holes, galaxies, radio waves, and particle physics. Why does math match reality so uncannily? We don't know. It's like the universe is whispering in numbers, and we're just learning the language. And tied to that, the constants of nature, gravity, the speed of light, the charge of an electron are so precise that even tiny tweaks could make life impossible. Why these exact values? No one knows. It's like walking through a cosmic house and realizing all the furniture is placed perfectly for life, but who arranged it? Even randomness, something we think we understand, is suspect. Quantum mechanics suggests true unpredictability, particles appearing here or there, atoms decaying without cause. Einstein hated it, famously saying, "God does not play dice with the universe." But experiments hint otherwise. Randomness might be baked into reality itself, not just our ignorance. Finally, the mystery of time creeps in. We live in it, feel it flow, age through it. But what is it? Einstein taught us time bends with gravity and speed, merging with space into space-time. Yet why do we feel it as a one-way arrow? Why does the past feel fixed and the future open? Entropy offers a clue, but the ultimate nature of time is still a riddle we can't fully touch. Let's start with particles, the tiny little building blocks that make up the universe. Electrons, protons, neutrons, the usual suspects, but it doesn't stop there. Inside protons and neutrons are quarks, mysterious entities that come in 6 flavors: up, down, charm, strange, top, and bottom. Yeah, real scientists call them that. And these quarks are held together by gluons, which are like cosmic glue with zero mass but insane energy. The kicker: we've never seen a free quark outside of particles. It's like they're shy little rebels that refuse to be alone. Why? We don't know. Physicists call it confinement, and it's one of those rules of the universe nobody fully gets. Next up, antimatter. For every particle, there's a twin with opposite charge: positrons, antiprotons, antineutrons. When matter and antimatter meet, they annihilate in a flash of energy. Simple, right? But here's the mind bender. The Big Bang should have created equal amounts of matter and antimatter, which should have destroyed each other completely. Yet here we are, made entirely of matter. So where did all the antimatter go? Scientists have no clue. It's like half the universe disappeared into thin air. Some experiments at CERN and elsewhere are trying to chase it down, but for now, it's a cosmic ghost story. Then there's dark matter, the invisible scaffolding of the universe. Galaxies spin way too fast for the gravity we can see. Something unseen is holding them together. About 27% of the universe is thought to be dark matter, but it doesn't interact with light, and we've never directly detected it. It's like the universe has a hidden hand controlling everything we can see. And even weirder, we have no idea what it's made of. WIMPs, axions, some particles we haven't even imagined yet. The search is ongoing, and each failed experiment only deepens the mystery. And don't get me started on dark energy, the thing making the universe expand faster and faster. About 68% of the universe is this stuff. We have no idea what it actually is. It's not gravity, it's not matter. It's literally an unknown force stretching space-time. Picture the universe as a balloon inflating, and the air inside is invisible and pushing outward. That's dark energy. No one knows why it exists or how it works. Let's zoom into quantum mechanics, where the universe basically laughs at common sense. Particles can exist in multiple states at once, known as superposition. Schrödinger's cat isn't just a thought experiment, it's reality at the subatomic scale. And particles are connected in ways Einstein called spooky action at a distance, now called quantum entanglement. Two particles separated by light years can instantaneously affect each other. Instantaneous, faster than light. Why? We don't know. It's like the universe has secret telepathy built into its code. Then there's the measurement problem. Until we observe a quantum system, it exists in a blur of possibilities. The moment we measure it, reality collapses into one outcome. But here's the kicker. Does observation by a conscious mind create reality? Or is it just interaction with the environment? Philosophers, physicists, and mad geniuses have debated this for decades, and there's still no consensus. Reality itself might depend on perception. Mind equals blown. Let's talk time and mass again, but now at the quantum level. Particles pop in and out of existence, called quantum fluctuations. The vacuum of space isn't empty, it's bubbling with energy. Virtual particles appear, vanish, and sometimes even leave detectable effects. This tiny jittery dance might even explain how the universe started. Some theories suggest the Big Bang itself came from a quantum fluctuation in a vacuum, a literally nothing turned everything scenario. And then there's the Higgs boson, aka the God particle, terrible nickname but catchy. It gives mass to other particles. Without it, matter as we know it wouldn't exist. But the Higgs is super weird. It's everywhere, it interacts in strange ways, and we only detected it in 2012. Even now, we barely understand its properties fully. It's like the secret engine behind everything we touch, but still mostly a mystery. Finally, let's tackle string theory and multiverses, because why stop at one reality when you can have infinite? String theory suggests that particles are not points but tiny vibrating strings. Their vibrations create all the properties we see: mass, charge, spin, different dimensions, possibly hidden right alongside our own. Multiverse. Maybe every possible version of reality exists somewhere, branching endlessly. Could there be another you reading this in a slightly different world? Quantum mechanics doesn't rule it out. From the tiniest quarks to the farthest galaxies, the universe is packed with riddles that stubbornly refuse to give up their secrets. We've seen matter and antimatter doing this cosmic dance of existence and disappearance. We've peeked at black holes, those hungry monsters warping space and time with gravity so intense that even light can't escape. We've felt the strange pull of dark energy stretching the cosmos faster than we can imagine. And we've watched quantum particles pop in and out of reality like they own the place. Every step we take in science opens more doors than it closes. Take consciousness, for instance. Here you are, thinking, feeling, dreaming, scrolling, wondering. Scientists can map brain activity, track neurons firing, measure chemicals and electrical signals. But no one knows why thoughts feel like you. How subjective experience emerges from billions of neurons is still a riddle. Why do we have a sense of self? Why does it feel like there's a you behind the eyes? Some say it's an illusion, a byproduct of computation. Others think it's the most fundamental thing in the universe, something physics might never explain. Either way, consciousness sits at the center of every mystery, quietly demanding we notice it. And then there's the question of life itself. How did a planet of chemicals turn into self-replicating, thinking, laughing beings capable of writing this very video? We've got some clues: RNA, DNA, chemical reactions in early oceans, maybe deep-sea hydrothermal vents, even panspermia, the idea that life came from space. But none of these explanations fully answers the why or the how. Life is astonishingly resilient and oddly fragile at the same time. Microbes survived ice ages, volcanoes, asteroid impacts, but one asteroid can wipe out the dominant species in a blink. Life is a miracle of probability that still somehow defies our full understanding. And then there's time and the cosmos. We can measure it, bend it, and predict its flow to insane precision, yet its essence slips through our fingers. Entropy, relativity, quantum weirdness, the arrow of time. Why the past feels fixed and the future open. Why we remember but can't unremember. We're travelers on this one-way road, but even physics can't tell us why the road exists or where it leads. Space itself teases us with its hidden worlds. moons with oceans trapped beneath ice, geysers spewing chemical clues of habitability, methane lakes on Titan cycling endlessly, Mars with its dried-up rivers whispering tales of a watery past, black holes, neutron stars, pulsars. The universe keeps showing us its cards, but we can barely read them. And beyond all that, the cosmic constants, the speed of light, gravity, Planck's constant. These precise numbers shape everything. Yet why they have these values and not others remains unknown. Could they have been different? Could other universes exist where the rules are flipped entirely? Maybe. Maybe we're living in just the lucky version that allowed life to happen at all. Even mathematics, the language we use to describe reality, has this uncanny ability to match the cosmos perfectly, as if the universe is written in numbers we're slowly deciphering. Equations that exist purely in our minds somehow describe stars, atoms, and galaxies. It's beautiful, eerie, and inexplicable. The universe doesn't just tease us with mysteries in space. Right here on Earth, secrets abound. Plate tectonics, the magnetic field, ice ages, mass extinctions, supervolcanoes. Life and the planet itself are dances of unpredictability and hidden mechanisms. The Earth beneath us is alive in ways we've barely begun to understand. As we pull back from the microscopic to the cosmic, one thing becomes clear. The more we learn, the more mysteries unfold. Science gives us tools, observations, and incredible insight, but it also humbles us. There are truths too vast, too intricate, too strange for any one mind to fully grasp. The universe is a story still being written, and we are both audience and participant. So why do we explore, wonder, question, and dream? Maybe it's in our nature to chase the unknown, to feel awe, to connect with the cosmos through curiosity. The thrill isn't just in the answers, it's in the journey, in the mystery itself. And here's the thing. Even after traveling through 100 things science can't explain, you realize the adventure never ends. The unknown isn't something to fear. It's a playground for our imagination, a spark for curiosity, and a reminder that life is bigger, stranger, and more beautiful than we could ever fully comprehend. If you enjoyed this mind-bending ride through the mysteries of science, don't miss out on more amazing facts, incredible discoveries, and the weirdest truths the universe has to offer. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, and stay curious, because the universe has way more secrets waiting just for you.